All right, so we're gonna go with another just strictly live song that I think was recorded in the studio for Big Whiskey and the Groogarx King. I can't remember exactly on that for sure, but one of the yeah, it was actually, now that I think about it. So Little Red Bird, really easy, quick, simple, fun song to play. I've always enjoyed it. I think the first time I heard it live when I went and saw Dave and Tim in Las Vegas back in 2009. And like I said, pretty easy, simple, straightforward song. Some basic chords in it, a little bit of fun picking. It's a good kind of beginner intermediate song. So if you've never listened to this song, look it up. You can play along with it, and like I said, it's just kind of a cool little song. So, anyways, we're gonna start off with a D. So he says, "Little red bird." When he says that, you're gonna leave your ring finger on that B string on the 3rd fret. Okay, little red bird. When he says under a chair, you're just gonna bring your ring finger up here to the D string on the 3rd fret, on the 3rd fret, and you're gonna just slide it over to the 4th. So when he says under, you go there, and then you're gonna put your middle finger on the 3rd fret B string. Under a chair, so he says a chair, and then you're just going to an A chord, okay? So and it says waiting for the crumbs to fall. You're just gonna come up here to just a standard G chord. And he's done it. I've seen him do it a couple of different ways. Sometimes he'll walk it down the E, the A, and the D string. And then sometimes he'll just strum it out. I like to play it just walking down the E, A, D. So what I did there is I went from that G, and then you just put your forefinger here on the E string 2nd fret. Everything else, a lot of this doesn't matter. I just like to keep it there to let it kind of ring out. So not a huge deal, but try and keep those down there in the same kind of G shape and walk these down. Still just on the E string, walking down E, A, D. And then I hammer or flatten out my finger down to make an E shape right here on the A and the D on the 2nd fret. So we go. Leave that on there, do it again, and you're just walking back up what we just walked down. Alright, so just there, going from here, here, there, and then from there, back to here, back to there. So just kind of doing that same thing in reverse. And that's also the chorus. You know, he does that in the verse, but in the chorus, guns and gods and little red birds. Guns and gods, little red birds. Guns and gods, and guns and gods, and little red birds. And then a comfort to count the battles won after the war was lost. That's just an A right there to end that. Okay? So we'll go from there to that fun little kind of bridge part. And it goes. So what I'm doing right there is we're on the D string. We're going to go open D. And we're going to put our forefinger on the 2nd fret on the D. And then the 4th fret, D. Almost kind of a lie in our graves. But anyways, we'll go there, open. And then it's you go, sorry, I'm gonna re-explain this again. Open on the D, 2nd on the D, 4th on the D, and then back down here, we're gonna go open on the G, and then put our fourth finger on 2 on the G. Okay, so you're gonna go through that. I want you to listen to it because I'm playing the same thing over and over. There's a there's a pause in the notes where I'm picking it right in there. Okay, so that's what makes it sound a little bit different. So listen again. I'm playing the same thing twice, but it sounds different. Okay. Okay, so listen to that. And then you go through that 3 times. After that 3rd time, you're just coming up here to the 4th fret A string, 2nd fret A string. You're just doing a B shape, right? And when I've seen Dave play it live, I've also seen him just doing just a simple chord here as opposed to like an entire full-on B chord. That's up to you. You can do it either way. I think it sounds better like this. It's a little fuller. All right, so I'll play this one more time for you, and then we'll be finished with this lesson. Okay, so when you hear him, I didn't explain this earlier, when you hear him hammering on, I'd mentioned that in that first note it's Little Red Bird. There are other times in that song, I think at the end of the chorus, definitely at the end of the song, where he takes his forefinger and middle finger off. Okay, and that's what he's doing right there. If I didn't explain that earlier, he's just hammering back down the same D shape. And then he does that before he goes into that. There's that little hammer right there. So anyways, like I said, another pretty quick, simple, fun song to play. So any comments or questions, let me know, and thanks for watching.